Hey, good morning. It's Maria from MommyLovesTech, and we're hanging out live from Blog World, the new Media Expo here in Las Vegas. And joining me now, we're the official Google Plus correspondents for the new Media Expo. It's Maria from MommyLovesTech, if I haven't said that already, sorry. Brett Bumeter,
That's awesome. That's very good
otherwise
for
known
the first
as
try.
Brett Bum on Twitter. And we've got some people here hanging out with us. We may see a couple other people pop up here. This is not your first Google Plus Hangout.
Yep, nope.
We've got Kyle, Justin. He's hanging out with us from Brighton. He's in the UK.
Justin?
We've got Tom. He's in Atlanta. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom. You used to live in Atlanta and Lawrenceville.
And we've got
I'm incoming.
Trev, who is in Yorkshire. He's in the UK as well.
Oh, okay.
And
good.
Yes. So Brett, is this your first?
I've been to almost all of these shows, including before it was a show. I went to all the podcast expos except for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to all the blog worlds in New York, LA, and Vegas as well. So I've got a weird history. I used to be a corporate accountant for Motorola, and they spun my division off when I was living in Atlanta, actually, to their Chinese supplier. Mm-hmm. And I, as one of 6 other employees, I went with the cell, and a year and a half later, learned that the Chinese supplier was actually the Chinese mafia, and I eventually became a corporate whistleblower and turned them into the feds.
You're
and
kidding.
No, it was craziness.
Were you scared?
Yeah, no, there were death threats involved, and my family and I were hiding out. They were threatening to all sorts of crazy stuff. I had a smartphone, a Palm Trio back then, with an app that would record all my conversations on the phone and in meetings, and we were copying the data tables and database of all the finance stuff and all the transactions. I was a contract manager, and yada, yada, yada. I rapidly learned that I didn't want to really be an accountant anymore, working corporate finance. And sometime soon after that, I went to the Podcast Expo working with a distributor that used to be a client of this company that also learned that they were dealing with nefarious people and trying to extricate themselves. Back then, we were trying to get podcasts preloaded into different MP3 player devices so that people could get a brand new MP3 player at Best Buy, listen to a podcast preloaded, because people didn't always know what a podcast was or couldn't find it back then. And that's when I kind of discovered the show, and I saw this whole new future of where media was going.
So what are you doing?
These days, I'm a blogger, video blogger, and a WordPress developer. So I did a lot of writing soon after I left the mafia, and then the writing. I did a lot of ghostwriting and articles and blogging like crazy on a lot of different topics. Writing about finance, I learned, was very boring. I could do it, enjoyed it, but couldn't write about it. It was, sleep in a month. After a month of writing, it was so boring. I had to find something better to write about.
Well, this is a great time to be doing videos and blogging. And how has it changed for you in the last several years? When you say you've been going every year, how is it different this year?
I'm finding I really enjoy some of the stuff that's going on with Google Hangouts right now, partly because not only can you interact with people live, but you can save that to YouTube essentially for on-demand viewing later. So even the people that don't get a chance to view it live can catch up with the show, and it's just so much easier. I've been playing around with some of the post-production video editing things that are starting to come to YouTube as well. So after you save a video to YouTube, you can edit that video. It's not great. It's not as good as an offline editor, but it can do some stuff.
Well.
You can trim, you can add titles and effects and annotations and stuff like that. So there's a number of apps that you can get after the fact through YouTube now too to work with that type of thing. WeVideo's got a production thing, and there's a few others I don't recall by name.
What are your expectations with the new Media Expo this year?
So in general, my expectations, I come to the show somewhat prepared, and this year I'm kind of a volunteer as a new attendee ambassador is the official title. But basically, I've always helped people try and connect up, find whatever it is that they're looking for, and we just made it official this year. And trying to help people get used to how to navigate this show, because it's kind of large for this community, and everybody gets here for the first time and they got a deer in the headlights look, where do I go? And they're overwhelmed. They're used to working in their niche, might even be very popular in their niche or something like that. But all of us are popular in our niche and strangers when we get here, so we have to, turn off the introvert from working at home, you know, in our little dungeons or cells or wherever it is, and then come out and be extroverts and,
for those
live the
watching,
Las Vegas nightlife all of a sudden.
There's that. Yes, you should really come out just for that. So for those watching, and our last question, what kind of advice can you give people who are contemplating getting into this sphere?
So all the tools to do it are available online. The connections, one of the reasons why I like coming to the show is the connections can rapidly decrease the learning curve for you. So I've been stuck on things for like 3 months at a time, you know, trying to investigate online, and I'm just missing the obvious somewhere in some, you know, I'm not asking the question right online, or I'm not Googling it right, or whatever the case is. But if I describe the problem to somebody, and one of the reasons why I like Hangouts, because you get more immediate back and forth. You're not struggling with the wrong Google search for days. When you start talking to somebody, they'll rapidly say, "Oh, I know that," or "I found that," or I know somebody that did it," and you can get to that answer a whole lot faster, and that really decreases the frustration level.
So ask the questions.
You're able to communicate with people faster, right? And get the response, and that really speeds up the downtime, and it makes it a lot easier to get from, you know, zero to, you know, popularity and quitting your day job and not having to rely on a mafia paycheck.
On that note, I'm so glad you were out of the mafia.
Yeah,
Brett,
me too.
Bumeter. Brett, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Have fun in the show. And
thanks, Maria.
We'll see you around the next couple of days.
Thank you.
Okay.
And
thanks, you guys, for hanging out.
see you, everybody.
Cheers. Thanks.